Hey, that's some flying machine you got there. What outfit you with?
G.I. Joe!
Woo! I am happier than a tick in a dog's ear. That part of the ear right here that gets up underneath the eardrum on the outside, it's got that little cup in it, and the dog can't really feel it because it's all cartilage and loose skin, and the tick will get up in there and you got to pull it out with tweezers, and you pull it out and your dog whips around and says, "What the hell you doing, you son of a bitch?" I'm as happy as that tick right before he gets pulled out of there. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 3-Star Draw. I am down south of 77. This is an adult collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe Classified, and sometimes we'll take a look at some other stuff too. But today we are looking at G.I. Joe. This is going to be the first video. There's going to be a few, and it's probably going to take me a couple days to get them out. So we took a look at the Dragonfly, and I'm doing the figures separate, mainly because I'm having to do these after work and there's only so much time in the day. So I've got to start with my main man, Wild Bill. You open the figures up. There's what you see. You got your crinkly paper in there. Go ahead and get rid of that because we're not keeping that part. And they're all packed in there. You got Wild Bill, you got Ripcord, Glenda, and Crazy Legs. And arguably in order of importance. Arguably. So let's put that right down there just a second. So we got to take a look at my man Wild Bill. I've been waiting on this guy. One of my favorite characters in G.I. Joe. He's a top probably 5 character for me for sure. Really been looking forward to this guy. He looks good, so let's go ahead and check him out. Put him next to the Dragonfly, and hope that he measures up to my expectations.
Yeah! There she is, partner. The island of no return.
Hey, do have the commemorative HASALB packaging, and how did that get stuck there? I guess that's from the front of the figure box. So all right, so you got your HASALB down here, got your Dragonfly, which is Phi, by the way. Up here, of course, we got William Wild Bill Hardy, and you got this artwork on the side, and then over there you got that portrait of him, which I absolutely love, and then you have close up with a different background of that with him pushing his hat up with the with his Colts there. Absolutely love it. It does have these, which I need a key card. I need a legend for those things because I don't know what these things are. I can't keep up with what all of these are supposed to be. Just make it simple. But at least there is not 16 languages and a bunch of other nonsense on there. But I'll show later when I get the other guys out. Of course, we know this lines up to make a picture that looks awesome. So it does have the tab, which I just think that's weird that they went back and they put that on these boxes. And on the bottom, you got the Yeehaw Champion, which I did give him a run for his money, but I lost to him. Then up here, you got this cool schematic blueprint type thing of the helicopter, and he is number 142 in the line. So have some other Wild Bill stuff out as usual for the background. All right, I can't wait anymore. I gotta get him open. We'll get some more light on. And I was getting ready to get this guy out of the box, and note, like the Hiss guys, there is no tape here because these are not gonna get figure swapped out of the package anywhere. But I did want to notice down here, I noticed it. I wanted to point it out to you guys. So down here, stamped at the bottom of the packaging, and I haven't checked the other figures because I just noticed it, but so down here is a number that is stamped in, and if you look, this same number should be on the bottom of your Dragonfly. So I Didn't notice that. I don't know if the Hiss guys are that way before. I didn't notice it. But I just thought I'd point that out so you know that each figure goes with each particular Dragonfly. How do I know that number's there? Well, because I had to contact Hasbro, of course, about my canopy hinge. So now you know. Out of the box, before we get him out of the tray, there's how he's packed in. I did had to take down my original artwork Wild Bill off of the wall to set up in the background there. That was obviously had signed by Ron Rudat, and next time I see him, I intend to have this signed by him as well, just because he designed the original character. So now you know. Again, you know more now. Alright, he does come with an extra hat. It's an Air Cavalry hat. Let's go ahead and check that out. Looks good. It's got the crossed sabers on it. It's got the gold banding around it. Darker blue. Got your tassels there. So I will have you guys know that I actually tried to find one of these hats to review all of this. I was going to try to find one that just maybe had the tassels, because no stolen valor. I was just going to cosplay as one of my favorite Joes. So I still may do it. You never know. So hat looks really good. This is the spare hat, of course. Got a spare hairpiece to use if you want to have him holding the hat or whatever. Looks pretty good. It's got some wash on it. Actually, I mean, it even looks like this could be where he's, you know, sweating and his hair's damp in the back. Good sculpt on this hairpiece. And then we've got a little bit different attachment piece versus the one big peg in the middle. It's a little bit different on his. So there's the extra hairpiece. Of course, we do have his sunglasses, and these things were almost as hard to get out as anything on the helicopter, just because there was one piece of tape holding them in that I could not get my nail under. It does come with his knife. Looks good. I mean, it's, you know, good as one of these knives can look. And this, I'm sure we've seen this knife before with somebody, but it does have this part of the hilt here, so you can't just kind of stick it down through their hands. I can't recall, but anyway, it looks good. It's got the silver paint on it like it should, and it's not very blunt on the end. It's one of the more knifey knives that these guys have come with. So, you know, to be included with the HASLB, this thing better have some detail on it. I absolutely loved, you know, the Hiss Gunner is one of my favorite figures in Classified, and I love the weapons that they gave her with that shotgun and the hammer. Here we got his twin 45 long Colts. And I have mixed feelings on these. I love that they painted the handle in like a faux ivory, and they went so far as to put the gold star of Texas for Lone Star on there. But the pistols themselves are kind of, I mean, they look good. They got decent sculpting to them. They're just, I don't know. A friend of mine got hers before I got mine and pointed it out that she was kind of unimpressed with the overall look of the guns. I wish they'd have kind of done some wash on them or something to paint the cylinder divots there. They look good. I'm not complaining. I love the pistols. It just, if they were going to go so far as to paint the handles, it just looks weird with this being like a flat gray. But I do really like them, and we don't have anything else like this really in the line. I don't think this is Tunnel Rat's revolver, though. I think his is a little bit smaller. I know it doesn't have this big long barrel like this on it. So either way, so let's check out my main man. I've waited a long time to get this guy in my hands. Wait a minute. Let's check out his flight suit. Got your zipper pulls there. Got all the pockets, all the folds, and all the creases Got this, his vest and his belt. Kind of has the look like Hawk's jacket. It's a little bit distressed. It really actually does look like leather. It looks really good. Got your buttons on there, and then his same thing on his gloves. It's even got the Longhorn skull and then the Lone Star on there, and then you've got all of this kind of filigree stuff in there. It's all raised. That's all embossed. It looks like distressed leather and matches his holster and his belt. He's great attention to detail on him. On the back, buckles hit with some gold. Got a gold rivet there, and they didn't do the buckle on the back of his vest to tighten the slack in his vest. Wonder why they didn't hit that with some gold just right there. That was all it needed, but it looks good nonetheless. With all of the other detail they put in this guy, I can't really make a huge deal out of that. Face looks good. Yeah, you got the mustache right. Eyes are nice and centered. Eyebrows, they got his hair color right. He's kind of redhead, reddish brown hair. All of that looks good. And then over here on his right shoulder, you got the Dragonfly patch. And then over here on his left, you got the American flag going the correct way. So raise this camera back up just a little bit, and let's look at him with Ron Rudat's original drawing here. So he's got the steer belt buckle, where here it's just a gun belt. I mean, that's what this is. He doesn't have a buckle. That's a gun belt. Does have his cross draw holsters. They took some liberty with the cuffs on his gloves there. Everything else looks really, really good. And he doesn't have mirrored shades. He's got black lens shades. I kind of would have rather him done mirrored ones, like Sergeant Slaughter's or Buzzer's. Not the glasses, just the look. Anyway, overall, I am impressed with him. He does have a little bit of looseness in his ab crunch on his torso. Not bad, but it's noticeable. It's not the worst that we've seen by far. So let's go back down. Check out some movement. I've heard that these figures have some really, really questionable, shall we say, movement, but I haven't seen any issues with Wild Bill. Nice ratchet on the shoulder. Butterfly joints seem to work properly. Pinless double jointed elbows. See if we can get that top part to move. No issues there. Knees good. Knees good. He doesn't really have, I guess the drop down hips are there. They're there. They just don't drop down very far, which I was expecting them to go down a little further for this guy, but they don't. So everything seems to check out on him. Of course, look at his boots. We don't really get to see much of his boots, but there is some detail in them. There's not any paint on them, but they do look like distressed brown leather. You got a little bit of, I'm trying to tell. No, it's just where the leather bends and creases. I was trying to tell if maybe it matched the gun belt or the vest, but it does not. So this is what I've been wanting to see. Can he hold these, and how does he look with them? And answer is yes, and pretty good. It's not in any way, shape, or form going to be able to get into a two-handed shooting position where he's aiming, but we've come to expect that. So I wish that he could, but it's just not going to happen. There's just not enough room in the arm without the vest hitting it. So he's going to be akimbo in these when he's not in the Dragonfly. Hand feels pretty good. We've had some stiff plastic on the hands in some of these later figures. So there he is. Sure hope I remember to put in the audio clip that I'm thinking of right here.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
Now let's check its holsters, because Wild Bill is a cross draw and these are supposed to go in that way so he can cross draw. Which is the most difficult yet most accurate draw if you can pull it off. They look like they can really go in either way, but it does look like on this side you do have the little bit of bow there for the trigger guard, so I'm gonna call it that they got this one right. I think they showed it with him having his cross draw being right. That white really stands out there, doesn't it? That looks good. Let's see if you can actually get him into a nope. So you can't actually get him really into a cross draw pose. Is this ring light bothering you guys? Because it's kind of bothering me. I just noticed it. Alright, that's better. So you can't actually get him over to where he's drawing them, which kind of sucks. So it's really just going to be more for looks. I really wished you could get him to where he's actually pulling them, but alas, you cannot. Knife goes in right there. It's not going anywhere. And let's see, here's the moment of truth, as it is with most of these guys that have glasses. Are they gonna stay on? How are the glasses? So you can get them on. There's not really anywhere to stick them. I am kind of pushing them in to kind of bend the arms back in a little bit on the glasses. They stay on much better than buzzers. Not exactly perfectly straight. And he does have a little bit of a bend there behind his ear for him to kind of fit into. Like that one goes on okay. Looks like it's going to be one or the other. So they do go on. They do look good on him. I think you'll be able to put him in the cockpit. As I say that. So I've seen some people say that they wish that they'd have just done one head sculpt with the glasses on. I kind of wish they had of as well. Just they do fit on him, just a lot less chance of losing them. So he looks good with them on, and they stay on reasonably well. I'm not going to say that they're great, but they will stay on him. I think probably Sergeant Slaughter's are the best glasses. So let's... What happened? Now he kind of looks like Gung Ho. What happened, Bill? So when you get the hairpiece in place, looks good. Matches the mustache and the eyebrows. Where'd they go? Let's see how they fit on with the hairpiece. Because the hat really wasn't holding them on when you got the hat. So they do sit a little crooked. He looks a little like Bernie. Weekend at Bernie's with the glasses, and they're just a little bit crooked. You could probably heat these and then try to mold them back to his face a little bit. I think that might work. And it almost seems like, I really think that they're meant to where they will sit there, but maybe mine are just warped from packaging. I may try that, just heating the arms up a little bit. I'm not going to do it for the video, just for personally. And see. And you get him where he's holding his hat. You're going to be able to do some good photography with this guy, I think. And get him like he's stepping out. You guys know I always got to check the ankles, because I seem to get figures that don't have very good ankles. Did not check his thigh articulation. He does have it. And he's not as much trouble to stand as some of the figures that have these flared cuffs are. And of course the tip of his boots does curl upwards as well, so that kind of decreases some of the surface area you're going to have for him to lean forward. So keep that in mind if you've got him sitting anywhere. That is one thing everybody's going to have to be aware of putting him on a shelf, because we know about these figures that have somewhat curved feet in one direction or the other, don't we? So I have not watched any reviews on Glinda, so she shares Scarlett's body, so I don't know if she's going to be hard to pose or not. We will find out. And then you line these up. Goes right back on there nice. So I'm going to set this out of the way, and I'm going to put him in the cockpit of the Dragonfly, because that is what we all want to see. That's what I want to see. Been waiting, 15, 16 months for that. But I haven't undone the seat belts or anything for it. And as you can see, it is placed precariously here on the edge of my table. So I'm going to move it a little bit and finagle him into the cockpit, and we'll see how he looks sitting in there. There we go. That's the look that I was looking for right there. That's what was missing. So move my mic over here a little bit. Okay. I did not show this part in my review of the Dragonfly and putting it together, because I didn't have any of the figures out. So, and this thing, I gotta tell you, like, I keep having to move the propeller around, because my area here, I don't have enough room to do a full spin on the propeller. It either hits my backdrop right here, or it hits the corner of my shelf over here. So keep that in mind while you're doing this as well. So back to Wild Bill, and I have to be careful with this canopy, because this piece is broken. If you did not see that, I broke mine. These hinge points are really weak, but we're here to talk about Wild Bill, so talk about that some other time. I'm sure it's going to come up. So I got him here in the cockpit, as you can see, and I did not show the seat belts, and I did not show the control stick, and that just popped out. That is not broken though, that just actually popped out. Let's double check. Let's go to the tape. All that did was fall and hit my thumb. You guys saw it. I'm just going to leave that off for right now. Why not? So, I don't remember where I was at. Okay, so the seat belt, it's the same style of seat belt that we had with the Hiss tank. The top part is in one piece, and the bottom part with the round on it is in another, and you just have to pop them apart right there at that split, and it's got a little divot there, so you can kind of pull on the bottom one to pull them apart. That's helpful. If you got a really thin, like an eyeglasses screwdriver or something, that'll help pop those apart. And it does have a mushroom peg in it, so that's how you get them apart. You put his feet through this bottom part here, and it does take some work to get his feet all the way in here. There is enough room, and he's sitting flat in the seat, but for a few minutes I didn't think that was going to happen. But you can get him in there seated. He's got plenty of room. Canopy closes. Also, the stick, the flight stick, I've got it over to the side, like I guess maybe he's banking a hard right. This thing does move around back and forth and front and back. It's very hard to get his hand on it. Harder than it was for the Hiss driver to grip the control lever that's back and forth. So be careful with that. I have questions about the durability of this mechanism down here that the stick moves around. Not how well you can see that, but you can see him moving it around. And I did not even attempt to try to get the other hand over there on it. I don't think that's going to happen either. And then over here, he does have a similar lever like the Hiss has. And it does also go front and back, forward and backward. I didn't try and put his hand on there. I don't think it'll be too hard, but I do recommend heating his hand up before you try it. So, see if I can, because everything I do, I have to keep an eye on where the blades are. So, got him in there, got it all lit up. They did a fantastic job with the screens and the LEDs on this, but just to show Bill in there with it lit up. I know I have lights on, so the green doesn't really show, but it is doable. So see, pop this back on there. I have seen issues with this part of this canopy, and I've already called them over part of it, so I can't see that very well. I need to stand, so I'm going to do that off camera before I try to put that back on there. But in a nutshell, and I'm doing all that and his glasses stayed on, so that gives you any idea. But there's a little more look at the helicopter itself and at Wild Bill. What do you guys think, man? I am happy with him. He's pretty much everything I hoped he'd be. I've got a couple of little gripes for the you know, the pistol metal not being painted and torso being a little loose, but honestly, that kind of stuff is stuff that we kind of overlook it or whatever. We know it's there. It's kind of hard to factor that in big time into trying to review the figure. So the other three I think I'm going to do together in one video. It's going to be a long video, but I don't really want to do a video on all the separate ones. But Wild Bill deserved his own. So here's the moment of truth. Wild Bill Hardy. What does he get from me, you guys? Fantastic figure. There's not anything really to have major complaints about. Wild Bill is going to get a 4.5. Yeehaws from me. If you don't have him, if you don't have a Dragonfly, he is worth picking up separately. If you're doing the original line, the original figures, he is one that you want. So if you didn't back a Dragonfly and you don't have any plans to pick one up, I do think he is worth spending the money that you'll have to get to buy him separately. Maybe don't do it right now while these are just coming out and selling for a whole lot. We've seen the Hiss figures generally level off at around $60. So, you know, I would say if you can find one for 60 or under right now, jump on it if you have no plans to get them all. And I don't like paying marked up stuff. That's more than double, the price of a figure, but it's the only way you're going to get him in this itineration, and I think he is worth it. Guys, if you like the review, I appreciate you hit that thumbs up, hit that like, tell everybody to come check it out, and we will be back real soon to do the other three. We've got Glenda, Crazy Legs, and Ripcord. And man, I wish I had something I could use for a Bongo the Balloon Bear, but that's for another day. I'll see you guys next time on 3-Star Draw.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.